Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow. In today's episode, we're going to get back into a new decade. Okay, so I already did the top 30 OAVAs, TV shows, and movies for the 1980s. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the 1990s. Okay, so I'll start from 1990 and work all the way up to 1999 and go through each and all these significant titles from every single year and then build a big top 30 countdown. So again, this is going to take me a while. It took me almost 14 episodes to do it for 1980, and this one probably will be a lot longer because there's now the new generation. Like my generation, started in the 80s, and of course we had to suffer through a lot of things. Like no translations and very hard distribution, with the VHS tapes and all that stuff. But now, in the 1990s, the anime companies started kicking in. So now there's basically a source that a lot of people can get certain types of animes and that kind of stuff. Big boom in the new OAVAs and animes and movies that sort of came out. So a lot more titles we can deal with. So, it's going to be a little bit harder than the 80s just because of the sheer volume. But again, we'll go through it all and it'll make this list of the top 30 titles for you. I'd like to remind you to go down below and click like and click subscribe. And if you like, you can put a little comment about your experience with this, because that always helps the YouTube algorithm. And again, if you want to support me financially, I do have the super thanks button down below, as well as the links for the PayPal and Patreon. Again, we have special episodes and that kind of stuff for the subscribers and the donators to this channel. And again, there's a link below which has all the database, which all the episodes of the history of fan anime, as well as the bonus episodes for the subscribers. So again, check that link out below. It really would help greatly. Thank you. And I'd also like to make a mention that my third volume of my novel that I've started to write is now available. It is available on Amazon and Kindle. It is for the next 5 days, because that's what Amazon has for promotionals and that kind of stuff. It is absolutely free, so you just go on there to you log into your Amazon account, you go to this to this book, and you click one click purchase. And the purchase is free, and what it is, it adds it into your Kindle account that you have on Amazon, just like if you had bought a song from like iTunes, it ends up in your iTunes account. Okay, it doesn't cost you anything, and then you can view it on the Amazon viewer, or you can download it on your Apple or iPhone or your Samsung or whatever Windows device, and you can then read it that way. Okay. Again, for the next 5 days, it is free. So just go over there, click on that buy it now for free button. It really does help, because it helps their numbers and that kind of stuff get in there. And so far, it's been pretty well received. I'd like to thank all the people that have gone through and clicked the button and had copies of that. The view rate's actually pretty nice. For people who are looking at the books in themselves, large majority of them are of course on the U.S. and Canada. Australia. All the books I have are available for free to all Kindle Unlimited people, and I'm getting a lot of support from the UK and Germany. So again, I'd like to thank all those people there who are reading the books on the Kindle Unlimited. So thank you. Workings of the 1990s and what animes will end up on our top 30. All right. So without further delay, let's begin. Okay, so we are doing the summer 1991. So this is the third season of 1991, and right on the top of the list is there's only one TV show, and not very much new stuff usually gets released in the summer. It's usually fall. So there's only one title, and the one title is Onisama. And now this one, nobody knows what the hell this show is. I mean, really, I know that they tried to release it in other countries and that kind of stuff, and it has a really strong, they call it sexual overtones and that kind of to it, because it's about bullying and the cream lemon Ami thing, where they you fall in love with the brother thing, right? So now normally this is pretty bizarre, and I looked at the character design. Now that I look at the cover of the picture, and I'm going, that looks pretty familiar. And yeah, I was right. The art design was written by Yoko Aida. Okay,
she's not known for this particular piece. What she's known for is Rose of Versailles. That is something that a lot of people have heard of and done. Of course, during this time, of course, people were sort of more familiar with Rose of Versailles. There still wasn't any translation for it and that kind of stuff at this time, but people knew of what that was. So this is obviously more of her type of work. And again, Rose of Versailles was already sort of more known, but still people had problems getting that one. So obviously no one gravitated to this one either, because it's probably just as equally hard to understand. Fortunately, as time has passed, other licensing companies like Anime Souls and that kind of stuff, and of course Discotech, grabbed us off the garbage pile and released it out because it's probably really cheap to license, and now it's available in English. So now you can follow what this is. But again, at the time, no one knows what this is. Okay, so that basically completes all the new TV shows. Now we can go past all the the continuing on series. Again, I've covered these shows on previous episodes. So again, if you want a more descriptive thing on them, then go back to those previous episodes and we'll go back to them. But the trick is that again, summer is usually not a season for releasing new stuff, and also the fact that if you got some pretty big blockbusters going on, and there's some pretty long series going on, you probably don't want to release too many more new stuff to kind of be competition for them. Right? You want to wait until they're finished before releasing new stuff. And right now you already got things like Dragon Ball Z, Ranma and a Half. It's still two very long series running. You got C191, which is just new for this year, and you got the series Yawara, which is still needing to be completed. And of course, there's lots of other shows that are getting heavy promotion. Cyberform GPX, the future racing type of thing, was getting lots of push. And the Geta Robo Go, and I do believe also Metal Jack. Animedia was really pushing those two shows really a lot. So again, not a lot of new stuff, but again, you can go check those out in the previous episodes, right? So we're gonna go ahead and skip over to the OAVAs, and let's go over what new OAVAs that came out this season. Okay, so right away for the OAVAs, we have the Legend of the Galactic Heroes, the ongoing series for that. Now, so I'm going to have to address something on this. So it's proposed that when I made the top 30 countdown and the previous episodes, that this is classified as an OAVA, yes, and by all technicalities, because if you look at the release dates, it probably was released on video cassette / DVDs, laser discs or whatever, first before it actually went onto TV. Although it's probably pretty close. I mean, I'm thinking the release times are really good. I guess I did an episode where I found the TV listing in the animation magazine. I do believe it was an Animedia magazine, where I found the time slot that they played Legend of Galactic Heroes on TV, and it was like literally like midnight. Okay, but because the fact that it behaves more like a TV show, because it has lots and lots of episodes with subsequent OVAs and movies to back up the the long series, I decided to classify it as a TV series and basically rank it against similar things. If I ranked it against other OVAs, it would most likely lose. Okay, so if I had to classify, like some of the 30 best OVAs that came out in the 80, for example, the 80s, and I had to put Legend of the Galactic Heroes in that same classification of other OVAs, it would easily get kicked out. I mean, when you had things like Megazone 23 and Project Echo and X01, and of course you got other big names like Bubblegum Crises, things like that, where they were only just like Megazone was only one, but like X01 was like 3 episodes. Bubblegum Crisis was 8 episodes, right? So very, very short runs allow the people to make really high quality, really nice visual OVAs. Okay, where Legend of the Galactic Heroes is built like a TV series. I mean, you can't do that high quality kind of stuff for 100 episodes and expect to maintain that high level all the way throughout, right? I mean, where if you got something like an 8 episode Bubbling Crisis, 30 minutes, 45 minutes per episode, it was really easy to make really high quality, high clean, cell drawn and very quick action. Okay, it grabs the attention of people, quick resolution, and a lot of people can follow that kind of thing. Where you get these long drawn out series. Sure, you get these people interested in the beginning, and then you have to kind of keep them hooked all the way through, like literally 100 episodes of releases, right, for them. And quite often, right, a lot of people will just give up on waiting for this series to come out. They'll watch a couple and they say, okay, yeah, whatever, I'm done, and they don't follow it, right? But obviously, many people did follow through because they started collecting it and whatnot for it. Now, its effect on the Western market again is that because it's so complex and there's so many other better things coming out at the time, it was very difficult for Legend of Galactic Heroes to get any traction. Okay, no one was really putting out any information about the series so that you could follow it even without the without any English subtitles or any English dub. Right, you just got the Japanese one. And no one's really making crib sheets or any information sheets about it or how the story's supposed to going. So you're lost. I mean, if you're following paper, kind of things for that, the things that people were following, of course, would be things like Gundam. I mean, even shows like Armor Trooper Votoms. I mean, well, granted, it was a love child of Tim Eldred, and without his fanatic, sort of love for that series, we had such a following for Armor Trooper Votoms in the early stages. It's just because solely because of that man. He did a lot of great stuff for anime and that stuff. And Votoms, it will be his to his credit. So for that reason, definitely Legend of Galactic Heroes does belong on the list, but I classify it as a TV series, and that's the reason why. Okay, so long explanation, but I'll move on now. We've got lots of OVAs to work on here. So, next one is a Hakuno video. Now, this is, again, a video made by, the guys who make, like, the early version of Gainax, right? They saw a trend, which they're realizing that there's this, this group of people who've been derogatorily labeled as otakus, right? And, in this sort of time and era, otaku was not a nice term, right? It's like how we refer to people like, for example, Trekkies, right? Just because you like Star Trek, we call you a Trekkie. And it's not a nice term because, it refers to the fact that you're this gimp who likes to, dress up in skin tights and spandex and look like, whatever, whichever Enterprise crew you like at that time. Anyway, so they realized that, hey, we can make an anime which is about these kind of people. And, it made it look a little bit better and easier to associate with these things. So they also were able to put lots of little puns and little jokes and little references to other animes and that kind of stuff. And it was really, for us, a really good telling sign that that we're being recognized, and it was sort of, for us, it was kind of like the anthem. Okay, so again, it got really translated early. The U.S. companies, AnimeGo picked it up relatively quickly, and it became very, very, a very popular thing to show at conventions because it basically shows that, hey, you're at a convention, anime convention, and here's an anime about going to anime conventions and all the people that are normally at anime conventions, i.e. you, right? So it was, for that, it was really popular. Again, made by Kenichi Sonoda, and at this time, he was the big man, right? Because he's got Bubblegum Crisis, he had Golf Force, obviously puts out something like Otaku Video, right? So he was, really high right, at this time, in terms of his, status and in terms of popularity. He's just putting out hit after hit after hit, right? So he was doing really, really good. So again, this one was one when he teamed up with Gainax and made a really cool thing. And again, great tell, just because, as I said, if you watch it and you can see how they cover otaku cultures and all those, those background sort of, shall we say Easter eggs, if you will, um, really sparked anime fans that kind of stuff because they point something out and say, oh yeah, that's the chick from Daikon video, and there's background reference to Project Aiko, and there's that the missile Budweiser thing from the Macross, and things like this. People would always kind of like realize that they snuck it in intentionally to basically promote and provoke the otakus out there because they realize, oh yeah, okay, they put that reference in, and it's like, yeah, good job, right, type of thing. So very, very popular. And the last one on this first row is 3x3 Eyes again. So again, based off the manga of the same title, and finally, this guy puts out a nice OEVA for that. Really nice series, actually. I really enjoyed the OEVA kind of series and this sort of thing. And again, at this point, really popular getting into these supernatural type of things. I mean, of course, we've already got things like Guyver and that kind of stuff coming out, but like out already. Vampire Princess Mew and all these, sort of weird, sort of, people being, possessed with different powers and that kind of stuff. But 3x3 Eyes has an interesting angle on it, and it was really good. And again, I like the manga, and the character design is really nice on it too. So yeah, definitely short series. So it was really easy to get into. And again, by Streamline Pictures, I believe, it was one of the very first titles that actually, again, got licensed for VHS release here in North America at the very outset. Of course, it did take them a little while to get out. I don't believe 3x3 Eyes came out until 94. Yeah, the fan subs did stick around for a couple years because it was 91. So it still took them a while, that gap while for them to actually get the tapes out there. But eventually, yeah, it was available to the Western market in an English dub. Okay, continuing along here. The next OVAs that we have on the list is Legend of Arslan. Now, again, this is another really nice one because it said, there are very few, like, this sort of adventure, Dungeons and Dragons, that kind of medieval type of stuff, at this time, right? We're still waiting for things like, Record of Lotus Wars. They had things like, Dragon Quest, which didn't really go off too well, and whatnot. East, things like this, sort of popped up, right? But this is the sort of first one alongside with Lotus Wars that really had a lot of traction. The story's relatively short, and in this case it's only 6 episodes. Lotus Wars was like 13, but it was a nice, very good character design. The flow of the story went really, really well. And a lot of people really gravitated toward this thing as one of the sort of medieval standards. Okay, yeah, it was quite good. The action was really nice on it too. So very, very popular at that time here. The next one is Bubblegum Crash. So obviously, if you saw in the previous episode that Bubblegum Crisis Volume 8 finally came out and finished that series. That's done. They realized, hey, this is pretty good. It's making money. This is a pretty good, concept. Let's, make more episodes, right? So they decide, okay, let's, let's drag it on. And unfortunately, these episodes didn't have the same grit and the same sort of animation quality, I thought, than the original ones did. Especially if you, look at the, Bone Crisis 1, 4, and 5, I think. I thought those were really outstanding. And these ones, the story was a lot lighter, kind of, I wouldn't say humorous, but it just takes it to a different angle. It's just lost its edge. So a lot of people felt that it's a lot more. Let's milk this franchise for as much as we can, kind of thing. So last ditch effort to make some more stuff on it. But 3 episodes, quick, short. If you really like the Night Sabers sort of storyline and the characters, here's more of it, right? So that's what he's done on this one. So each to his own. And the last one on the list is Mad Bull 34. Again, mentioned in the previous episode. Just how much it kind of reminded me of Peter Gunn in many ways. But yeah, again, nice short series, 24 episodes. It had a little bit of everything. It's got like really extreme violence. It's adds a little bit of skin to it. Pretty in the era of these cop shows and that kind of stuff that we've had in the 90s, it really does follow that sort of theme. And so it's a nice, pleasant watch. Especially if you were a big fan of those, cop detective shows from the 90s. It was a kind of a cool sort of representation in anime for that. Okay, and next going up to for the next on the list here, we have the Takeo Monogatari, which of course came over here and got renamed as Doom Megalopolis. Now this one was really, really like messed up, psychic horror type of, kind of series. In many ways, the artwork, the character design, and well, not so much character design, but like the artwork that they drew it in, sort of really reminded me of like Overfiend and that kind of stuff. So it drew a lot of interest on that kind of stuff. It's good that it was one of the really sort of early titles that they picked up on because they realized this is really nice and edgy and controversial and that kind of stuff. So let's license it and let's get it out there. So it was one of those ones that right at the very beginning with things like the Demon City Shinjuku and Wicked City and that kind of stuff, kind of in that sort of limelight, right? That's where it got a lot of its popularity. So again, really short, got 4 episodes. So it was really easy to watch, and but not really that. But story wise, not very good. But and actually, come to think of the characters, that wasn't all that good either. But but it's from that guy, that kind of circle. So that's why I kind of like to mention it, because a lot of people kind of got into that when they were getting into all that sort of weird psychic, superhuman type of kind of stuff, right? In the early stages when anime was just getting beginning. And the next one is Ningyo no Mori, which translates to Mermaid Forest. Okay, so again, Rumiko Takahashi, she's really hot, right? She's already got Ranma and a half as one of the continuing series going on right now, and she'll continue making more animes and that kind of stuff. So this is one of her short sort of series, not exactly part of the Rumik world, the Rumik theater set, right? But definitely, she's going to make a bunch of these shorts that put together to make a whole bunch of these little things. And of course, Mermaid's Forest will then be followed by Mermaid's Scar, and whatnot. So again, very popular. Her stuff is really popular at this time. So she was getting a lot of her name out there. Okay. And the next one is Detonator Organ. Okay. Now this one I really loved. This one, especially the ending theme song. I mean, it's got a really epic ending theme song, which I remember when we did the fan sub for this one, and I remember one of the things that we did for one of our anime showcase meetings is that we put all 3 episodes together into a movie presentation, right? And when you watch it in the theater, like a theater kind of atmosphere, with the surround sound and that kind of stuff, just when you get to that ending theme song, it's just how it echoed in the Electro Hall theater that we were in. It was just really really surreal. It just really felt very powerful, and in that respect, okay. So anyway, character design, Kiyomiya, so same guy who's going to do the things like Sanna Mobius, and and bring you all the good things like Steam Detectives and whatnot. And he's really, he's done a lot of good popular stuff right now, right? And that kind of stuff. So for example, one of the big things he kind of probably pivoted off of this one is Sonic Soldier Borgman, right? So again, Kiyomiya is the up and coming sort of artist in this field, and so this is one of the nice OVAs for that. Again, guy goes into the robot and does the combat and that kind of stuff. So it's a nice one of those things. And again, art quality is good because it's a good fairly famous character designer that does that, and it's a nice sci-fi feel. Good soundtrack. It was definitely something I recommend to check out.
All right, hope you found that really interesting. And again, we'll be getting into more episodes as we go through the whole entire decade of the 1990s. All right. So, until next time, I will see you again.